you so much. The vision of I'm a solopreneur. The vision of my company is to help each and individual to build their self-esteem and confidence through my various programs and acting as a guiding light at the back. And these are some of the programs we do for students, parents, teachers, and entrepreneurs. And some of my niche programs are success design program, where I work with the people to achieve their goals. It's a complete goal setting based programs where helping a person to become aware of their own strength and weakness and creating a blueprint for their life. And the positive thinking challenge is one of the program which is born in this pandemic, and I'm successfully running across the globe where I have participants. And yes, not much to speak about. I am also a mentor. Apart from what Kishan has briefed about me, I'm also a mentor in Jobs for Her and School Connects, and I'm also working with Times of India as an NIE consultant. I'm one of the top 50 achievers in India under the age of 50, published by Indian Achievers Club Maharashtra. And these are my education credentials, where I'm a certified trainer, international certified coach, and business success coach, and various other programs. Not to bore you about this, I'll move on as quickly as possible. And this is my international accreditation, which I got in this pandemic. When we hear the word pandemic, when we face the stress, people say it's tough to do anything. It is because it's pandemic. For me, things happen. It's because the way you see things, the way you approach matters a lot. And I'm able to get this international accreditation working as a solopreneur. So it's all about the persistence and the skills which we perceive and which we think, no matter what the situation. And that's what we are going to see in the webinar in a few minutes. And these are my awards and accreditations. And not to mention, forgot to say, I'm a world record speaker. Very recently did this world record with 555 women across Tamil Nadu. Of course, the participants were across the globe. We did the Asia Book of Records, where we spoke continuously for 279 hours, 12 days continuous. So that's a world record we made. And moving on to, without further delay, moving on to today's topic. What's in for you as a parent or as a student, whoever is listening on the other end, these are the topics we are going to see for the next 45 minutes. Of course, it's been a little late. We started. I would try to keep up the time. So anytime, please do chat in the chat box if you have any doubts, or towards the last, if I would take the questions if the Skoolz platform allows me to do so. So thank you so much. So these are some of the things we will be seeing on parenting styles, resilience and its importance, 10 tips to build resilience, and 7C model by Ginsberg, Dr. Ginsberg, who has reframed the 7C model for resilience. And the last one will be how a resilient family can raise resilient kids. So styles of parenting. So why today? I'm here to talk about resilience. We are here to know a little bit about resilience. But why the parenting? The more we know what style of parenting I do, what is my style, then it would be easy for us to understand where I need to change, because we, end of the day, children follow us. So just to throw a light on it, authoritarian, where this kind of parenting styles is what our ancestors, our grandparents followed. Like, we are not even allowed to stand in front of them, raise our voices. What they say has to be done in the family. So that's an authoritarian kind of parenting. And authoritative is, we will come to that last. And negligent. So whatever you do, I don't care. Okay, do whatever you want, you do. Just not taking much of responsibility and accountability as parents is a negligent style of parenting. And this parenting styles mostly happens in a family where there is not much understanding between the parents. And sometimes when the parents are alcoholic or drug addicts, so there you can see negligence parenting. And permissive parenting is they don't want to get a bad name from the child. They want to be a perfect parent to the child, thinking that I am doing only good to my children. They go to the permissive way, which is also not wrong, correct. where they say yes to everything the child asks, not even thinking whether it is good for the child or is it really needed in the family culture. So what is highly appreciated and welcome is authoritative, where you still talk about the pros and cons, but figure out and take the decisions together with the child, understanding the child's mindset, plus helping the child to understand what is right and wrong. So authoritative is also a style. So it's not that this style is good and this style is bad, but we have, as a parent, we have to understand what styles we follow predominantly while bringing up our children. So whereas if you see the high top two layers have high control and demandingness, when you see the lower areas, they have low control and low demandingness from the child. So you have to understand, of course, you might ask me, we as a parent also follow these 4 components as different types. Sometimes we are authoritative, no means no for me. Sometimes we are authoritative, depends on the situation and event. But overall, how I am as a parent is we have to become aware of before we start teaching some biggest life skills to our children. So the next thing would be understanding that resilience. What is resilience is all about. So the process of adapting well in terms of when you're stressed, when you're undergoing a trauma or a tragedy. So what we are having a lot of adversity times now, and we witness a lot of death. So the trauma gets into the child. Many children have lost their parents or grandparents in this pandemic. And another significant source of stress is, suppose if the mother and father keeps fighting at home, that also is going to create a stress in the child. And sometimes when the father or the mother, or sometimes I have also seen in my sessions, the children get so much stress when the grandparents get some health issues towards the end of their last stages of their life. If particularly if the child is very attached to the grandparents. And apart from that, workplace and financial stress, when a family undergoes as a family together, these are the situations where the stress happens. But how we come back, how we bounce back from those situations and start again is called the resilience in a very simple term for us. So it's like a muscle. The resilience is like a muscle. It takes time to build. It cannot be built in a day, but continuous effort and practice is needed to build that muscle. So when we talk about resilience, there are 4 components of resilience. The first one would be the healthy thinking. So we have to develop a healthy thinking mindset. How to think. It's not that we just think. How to think. The way of proper thinking has to be there. And that has to be cultivated through mindfulness and various other, the way we move with people who are our friends, who are our people who do we communicate on daily basis. Those things has to be taken care of if you want to build your resilience. Then the wellness, basic wellness of us, like eating, sleeping, all those basic wellness routine habits has to be taken care of. Mental wellness, physical wellness, all that it means. And the meaning, suppose an event happens, what meaning we attach to the event. Okay, so you can say like, suppose if I plan to go out for a simple reason, suddenly it started raining, then I can say, oh, my day is wasted because of the rain. That's the way to see in a negative aspect. Otherwise, you could have said, okay, if it would have started half an hour before, then I would have caught in the rain. Good that I didn't go out. It got late for me, or good that I didn't step out. So seeing what meaning we are attaching to the events happening matters a lot in terms of building your resilience for yourself and to your children. And the connections, if you see, the connections is the most important thing in terms of resilience. The more you socially connect with people and build your social skills, the more resilient you become, because we are all human social animals. We learn from each other. We are connected to each other. And when you say resilience in terms in a different way, it can be also say that the ineffable quality that allows some people to be knocked down, but they rise, come back again with strong skills. And it's like rising from the ashes, though they are put into the fire, it's like no way to survive, but still they rise up like a phoenix bird. They come back again. And that's so in terms, resilience is way, it's called a tendency to bounce back. Every one of us have resilience, but how far quickly we are able to come back is the ability that we have to work towards it and develop that. So an author called Glenn Schiraldi, according to him, he says some of the strength and characteristics and traits which is highly related to the resilience. So according to that, a sense of autonomy. Here, the sense of autonomy, like when a child has abusive parents or becomes an orphan or comes out of the family because of the family dysfunction, if the family is not proper, suppose the parents have a lot of misunderstanding, then there are children who still become very independent, and they are able to work in their boundaries, and they are able to perform within their boundaries. So they, at the end of the day, they become very calm. If you see them, they would be still able to work under high pressure levels, and they would be having a self-sufficient, like they are self-reliant also, I would say, and they would be able to take the resources within themselves. They won't blame, or they won't say, I didn't get anything else. And of course, what they will be is, they would be determined to be different. Like suppose, why different here means, usually the children, we follow our parents' pattern unconsciously. If you go back and check, you would have listened to your spouse saying, oh, you're like your father, you're like your mother only. So we have these conversations between the spouses. No, you're just like your father. Because we don't know what pattern we follow, but our partner can understand the patterns which we are following from our parents, which has been transformed unconditionally, unconsciously to us. As a child who has an abusive home, they also comes from that state. They think this is how a man or a woman gets abused, but still they want to be different. They decide somehow, I don't want to be like this. So they determine to be different, but there is a hell a lot of struggle when they come out to break the patterns consciously. But that's where the resilience comes up within the children. And goals, they are pivoted, or they are goal oriented. They are directed towards the goal. They think this is how I need, this is what I want, and they work towards that. Apart from that, these are some of else the traits and characters, like they have a rational thought process. They think logically, and have a high self-esteem. People with high resilience will have high self-esteem, and of course they are optimistic and happy all the time. That's all we know basically. So what else is like altruism is, they are selfless and they are very compassionate. And end of the day, whatever happens, they always work towards a long-term vision, like what is the purpose of my life. When they are going towards the bigger vision, whatever comes in between, in middle, to in terms of obstacles, in terms of hiccups, will not stop them. So they become highly resilient because they are very clear in the purpose of their life. And the characteristics, again mentioned by Glenn Schiraldi, is like the character of a child or any human being for that matter is very well strongly built. Okay, either it is built by the parents or by the teachers or the guardians, or sometimes the child itself picks from experiences and makes his or her own belief system and builds his or own character based on that. And the curiosity, how much the curiosity a person. So generally, if you see people with resilience, though they fail, they will be a lot of curious within them. With that curiosity, they build something into the world. They might fail, they might succeed, but because of the curiosity characteristics, they keep on building more and more and more innovations again and again, though they might have failures or they might succeed. It can be both ways. But overall, they are highly curious people. And they know how to balance either their work life or the academics and school life, or whatever it is, like academics and personal life and college life. So they are very well balanced for people. And also they are highly social skills and have good social skills, and social competence is very high in them. When we talk about the adaptability, they are very confident, and persistence is one of the skill which you can find in people with high resilience. And the flexibility part of it, they are very flexible. Acceptance will be more in these people. Whatever happens, no, they would be able to accept it and move on. And the creative problem solving is a way where they solve the problem in a very creative way. And the coping strategies, they have a lot of coping strategies for the stress which they go through. And of course, see here it's religious faith. If not that religious faith, it is believing in the superpowers, I would say. So any kind of faith has to be installed in the children. It can be a religious practice. If you are not if an atheist, then it can be something beyond our control. It's a supernatural power or a universal power, whatever you call, supramental consciousness, whatever it is. Helping the children to have faith and hope, or building that character, is going to help them a lot. And of course, basic health habits, good health habits also helps in resilience. So you would say, what is the connection between good health habits and resilience? Sleep. If you take sleep, during our sleep, what happens is the toxins gets flushed out of our brain. What happens over the day, we consume the information from outside, and the brain, actually the cells become bigger, and the more inflammation happens basically everyday basis. On everyday basis, that is why we feel tired and fatigued if we do a lot of mental work. So the brain expands, in the cells expands a lot of because of a lot of events, memories, everything we go through on a day. And if you don't sleep properly, the toxins don't get flushed out. That creates a lot of stress. And when you are in stress, the faster the resilience scale is there. See, everybody has that scale, like until this I can try, beyond that this is my level. So until that threshold they meet, when the stress is too high, they don't have the energy or the ability to even think through it. So even a sleep matters a lot in terms of building your resilience, even as an adult. See, I'm not pertaining this subject to the children, but still as an adult, because we were children once upon a time. We are grown-up adults today, and tomorrow your children will be a grown-up adults. So it is very important to understand the concept. Even small behaviors in everyday life matters a lot in building our resilience skills. So why resilience so important in today's world? This world, no, we call it as a VUCA world. It's been coined years before. Volatile, uncertain, ambiguous, uncertainty, and so much of anxiousness in the world. This VUCA world, we don't know what is there. In this today's world, we have to be highly resilient. Why? Especially, we have to raise our children to be like that. If you ask this question, why? Then here goes the answer. It improves the academic achievements of the children, and learning improves, sure. And lower absenteeism in school due to sickness, and also in the workspace. And when the resilience skills is very high, when we raise highly resilient children, getting addicted to alcohol, drugs, and smoking, all that chances are very less. Why people gets into all this habit? It's because they are not able to solve the problem, or they are not able to look into the emotions of that problem, which is very raw for them, which is very too much to take them. So they might know that I have made guilty or I am feeling ashamed, not able to withstand that. They want to keep themselves away from those emotions. And that's the reason, I'm not talking about the social drinking here, but it's getting really addicted to that. So when you bring up resilient kids, they are okay to accept the failures and they don't succumb to such bad habits. And they are very socially involved and connected, where they work towards the society, and mortality rate is less. So overall, when you are highly resilient, what it does to your health? So you become more positive and less negative emotions you start experiencing. And though there is a chaos around you, you just become resistant to that stress. Nothing starts affecting you at the end of the day. And successful aging. See, I have seen many elderly people. They are not able to accept that aging is a part of the human body process. The pains, the aches, the disease, it's a part of it. As we get older, their mind will be blocked in like, oh, you know what, 45 or 50, I was this, I went there, I did this, I hold so much wealth or so much possession. But when they get old, they are not able to accept, because the mind and body is not in synchronization. So successful aging is what you have to accept the old age and age gracefully with that. So when a child is better brought up with high resilience skills, so the problem solving ability of the child goes up. And spinal cord injury, why specifically spinal cord injury is, it needs a lot of resistance. When a man is told that he would not be able to walk again, or a woman is told in such a way, a lot of grit and self-reliance and self-resistance, so many things, persistence skills, everything is needed to come back, to stand again and to walk. So when people with high resilience skills, the recovery is very faster. And PTSD is a post-traumatic disorder. Post-traumatic disorder is, I'm not getting into much of the psychological term, but just want the parents who are listening to understand, we are going through the pandemic phase. The waves keep coming and going, and it's high peak stressful times we have seen, and it's better now. Again, things are open up, so we don't know what, none of us know what is going to happen. But the post-traumatic disorder is when a person undergoes a trauma for a particular period of time. It won't show at that time. After 3 years or 4 years, they will start showing the symptoms. So like they would not be lost their appetite, or they cannot study well, or they start using the drugs, or they become fearful. So such symptoms you have to notice. And if you build this child with the resilience skills, they would be able to accept this pandemic also and move on with that. It's just part of the nature. And raising the children to be resilient, what all the things we can do. So first, make connections, means connect socially, connect empathetically, connect with your children, talk to your children, and also connect the children to the world, outside world, take them outside, help them to explore, and encouraging the children to help others. Helping people is one way where you can come out of any signs of stress or depression or anything. When you start working for the society, there are results which has been shown, the stress levels comes down. And maintain a daily routine, a disciplined daily routine of waking up, sleeping on time. Of course, I know parents might be saying, no, it's very difficult for my child until 12 o'clock he's awake. It's okay. But once you cross after 30, the body is not going to help us. Until that, we can experiment with all this. The children can learn how to do it. But beyond that, the child has to be self-controlled and self-regulated to know the responsibilities and do it on time and finish all their works. So take a break. You also have, as parents, we have to take a break and teach our children how to take a break in middle of the work, and breathe for themselves, and dissociation. Because if you don't teach this on a small daily basis, we also know not able to dissociate from the work. At the back of the mind, something about the work will be going on, though we sit at home in front of our TV or with the family, and we'll be always lost. Mostly men are lost totally with the work. Always something happens at the back of the mind. So you have to practice your mind and the brain to constantly dissociate, and switch. Switching is the habit you have to teach the children. And self-care routines and goals here. Goals are very, very important to bring your child as a resilient kids. Because if the child learns how to work on the goals, so the child fixes a goal A and goal B and goal C. If goal A doesn't happen, the child has very well set a goal B. It knows how to move on, not stuck at that point. Thereby, the resilience skills builds up. So encourage your children to do goals on regular basis and work on goal, which is very, very positive and happy way of living your life when you focus on your goals and work towards it. And nurturing a positive self-view, like how to think more positive about yourself, and look for opportunities for self-discovery of a child. What are the ways the child can discover themselves? Talk about the child's emotions and the feelings in every day with your child. Show the platform or keep the space open in your home, that you're not judging your child while they come and talk. You don't need to judge. Of course, when the child talks, your fears get triggered. But we as a parent have to understand how to regulate our fears and just listen to the children without judging them. So I'm moving on to the 7C model created by Dr. Ginsberg. He is the founder and director of CPCTC and a professor of pediatrics in Child's Hospital in Philadelphia. So he is a child pediatrician and a human expert. He has developed this 7C model of resilience to nurture in anyone. And what he says is, especially he came up with a children model. So what he says is 7 model is character, competence, confidence, coping skills, contribution, connection, and control. All are C's, where we are going to see everything in a short. So the competence. So competence describes how you handle a situation effectively. We all know what it is. So how can we develop competence in our children? Helping your children focusing on their strength. Talk about their strengths in the home. Okay, this is your strength. Keep reminding about their strength. And encourage children to make some decisions in your home. When you're planning for a vacation, ask your child, these are the 4 places we have decided where we want to go. Where are you interested to go? So you know where you can take the opinion of the child. When you do this in your home, the child feels the parents are respecting me. I am respected in this house, and my points, my thoughts, my feelings are valued. And that shows a signal to the child to come back to you when the child is in a problem. So, see, we don't know what messages we are communicating. We don't need to talk anything directly. But certain things which we do at the back end will give a different message to the children. So at the same time, too much of overprotectiveness should not give a message to the child that I don't think you can handle it. So you have to allow the child to explore and still be supportive at the back end, though prepare them to fail if they have to. And when you talk about the confidence, we all know confidence is an important factor to build in each of us. And praising, see, this is what every child, those who take some decisions, wrong decisions, or they go out to seek the love from outside, is because we in a family, we don't praise the child as it is necessary. Praising and appreciation, I would say appreciation is a very basic human need. There are top 6 human need. defined by every human being, which every human being need. Even if one of the need is not fulfilled, and 2 or 3 combination of need not fulfilled, a person goes into a depression. So that's a predominant thing we can find out. So in that, appreciation is one of the most important things. So you have to appreciate the child. uh, Whatever the child does depends on the age. The child is too small, you have to appreciate him or her for the small things. The child does learn something or does good, we have to appreciate, not by saying, I know, this is not a big thing. We have done so much in our whole life. No, this is how I used to be. What, you studied for 1 hour and you're making a big scene here? I used to study for 3 hours. This is not the way. There you are going to show your power over the child. So you have to understand the child's emotions, and recognition and appreciation will bring a lot of confidence, which is an important characteristics to be built for resilience. And connection, as I said, connect with the child, talk with the child, show empathy, and allow the child to pour their emotions. Because most of my cases in my counseling, I've seen the child fears to tell the emotions to the parents because the parents will judge or shout at them. When you create a platform that I'm not going to judge you, I'm not going to scold you, or just understand what the child is feeling through, I am very confident the child comes to you and speak. I have a team who comes to me every day and speak about everything until today what she knows about. That's the platform, that's the space we have given to her. And I don't judge her, or I don't ask questions, or I don't even say no to what she's saying. Just listen. So we, of course, when the child talks to me, my anxieties, my triggers gets up. But the consciousness, the awareness is what we need to develop. Just prepare when the child is approaching. Then you know how to let go of your emotions, all your fears. You don't impose it on the child immediately. Okay, the character. When I talk about the characters, yeah, building a very strong character is very important. I teach this in the schools. So building characters while teaching the subjects. As parents, what we can do is, when a child does something, suppose when a child out of the fear zone or comfort zone goes and does something, and tries something continuously, you have to say, wow, you have a great grit here. You are a person with amazing grit. And when a child says, no, mama, I will finish the homework and then take chocolate, then you have to say to the child, wow, you are very good in going for delayed gratification, and your gifts are going to get multiplied. Because instant gratification is what we are looking. Everyone comes to me. Even yesterday, last week, there was a 65-year-old come to me for counseling. She said, Harini, you want instant results. We all, even at the age of 80, we want instant results. One tablet has to heal all my pain. No, that's not. We have abused your body for years and months and weeks. One tablet cannot heal it. We have to give the time and space and the thoughts, everything for that matter. So instant gratification is the world going on. You have to teach our children the delayed gratification part. And control, you have to make the child understand what is in my control, what is not my control. You can't sit here. Yesterday, one more client, he was in London. He wants to control his mother in Chennai. So you can't. You can't keep controlling. You can't always have a stick in your hand and think every race that is happening is your race. Not all race are your race, and not everything is your monkeys. You have to know what is my monkey. You have to know what is your race. You can't be always with the stick trying to control. And you also have to make your child understand that you can't control things. So we have to allow the child to go through the emotions. You can't control. So my daughter's school had a dinner plan today because of the death of Puneet. It's got cancelled. She's totally upset, I know. But we can't control it. They have to, the expectations, what they have to go through that. So that's the thing. And the contribution and coping up skills. Contribution, build your child to contribute to the world, build your child to help to the others, make your child understand they have so much the others don't have. How to build this contribution thought before they jump into the field? Gratitude mindset. Ask them to practice gratitude every day. So when they say, I have this 10 slippers, I have one laptop, I have mobiles, then they will also understand those who are not having this. Just because we parents no need to always say, you're blessed, you have so many things in life, you're not feeling thankful for us, you're not feeling the importance of the possessions you have. And that irritates the child a lot. Let the child understand how much gratified or gratitude he or she has towards what he is or she is blessed with. At the same time, coping, yes, you have to cope up, help the child to cope up from the failures, from the problems, from the negative experiences, and you don't need to avoid certain talks about death in the family or no separations. So it's okay to talk about certain things, and while you talk, let the child also pour their emotions about what they are feeling. So finally, I am just going to close off with this style. I'm on time, 4:59 there. Resilient families raise resilient kids. We are role model to the kids at first. For a child, there are two pillars, parents and teachers. Next comes the other support pillars. So highly influencing people are parents and the teachers. So end of the day, if you want to build resilient kids, you have to build resilience in yourself. That's where I made this PPT more of an adult version rather than us teaching to the children. We have to understand resilience and how we have to be more resilient in the ways. And you can teach resilience to your kids by you adopting to the skills and having an optimistic outlook of the problems you face, and having a social connection and teaching competency, also providing them opportunities for them to experiment themselves, and self-control, putting in the space where they know they have no control, but still encouraging them to adapt to the self-control and self-regulation mode. And continued commitment, and the dedication you show towards your work, towards your personal life, towards your family, the love, the empathy that you show, the child automatically picks up, and end of the day, you can raise your children who are personally, socially, behaviorally, and academically a resilient one. So thank you so much once again, Skoolz platform, for giving me this opportunity. I hope I added some value to the participants. I am open for questions if I am allowed to. Thank you so much, Kishan and Sagar.
Thanks, Harini. Thanks for the wonderful time which you give and a lot of information which you shared. That was really good. I'm sure that everyone would have got good information. And we are open to questions. Participants, if you have any questions, you can probably type it on the chat. And Ms. Harini would be more than happy to answer those. Any questions, participants? Sangram, you have any question?
Yes, I mean, it was really a wonderful session. I really enjoyed it because I have a teen at home, so I could able to connect a lot of things. Yes, I just have one question: how to build that in the process of building resilience? How to find out how to help the child to find out the desire or dream? Because sometimes the purpose is somewhere lost in the mind of the child, so the child doesn't know where to go, how to lead her life, the focus. So how to build that one?
So if you ask about finding the goal of the life or passion, it
Yes.
might be same at some time, it might be different. Two things might be different, two things might be same, for it depends from individual. So you have to ask the child to write it down. What are the things that make the child happy, end of the day doing it, and encourage the child to do it. So, and another one in terms of thing is, you have to, that's what I said, no, you have to put the child in a goal setting habit. You have to encourage your child to write down their goals. It can be as simple as a 1 month goal or a week goal or a 1 year goal. Let them start small. And what happens is, when they achieve the small goals, the enjoyment they get, which will create an intrinsic motivation for them to go for the next one. So how to find out? Yes, if you see closely, watch, you would see the child is very interested in certain things. But what I come across is, lot of parents come to me and say, my child wants to become a YouTuber. that's
Yes.
that's the whole complaint, and every other child wants to become a YouTuber, because the child have a perceived notation or a thought that if I become a YouTuber, I can earn money, a lot of fame, a recognition, and I don't need to read. I don't need to.
Yes.
This is a very common, especially teen boys undergo this in this pandemic, I would say. So get the child to understand what is the pain behind the reality. Like 1 hour of YouTube, if the child is watching, how much of effort, how much of time he takes to shoot the video, to edit the video, to learn, to meet, and the concepts, the curiosity, and creating different topics. So much of effort need to be there. So what I would suggest is, you don't need to stop the child like, okay, you should not become a YouTuber. There is no opportunity. It's a stupid. It's a humbug. Let us not treat the child that way, but better than open, ask them to open a YouTube channel. Let them do, let them learn, let them understand the real pain behind it. As I said, the problem comes here is, every child wants to have that instant gratification of become money, wealthy, earn, settle now. They don't want to read or go through this pain of from 10th to college. They don't want this period of life except for enjoying. That's a mindset, no, somewhere this younger generations have picked up. So what I would say, talk about the failures and rejections that the successful people have come. So we always talk about, okay, Dhoni is successful, Virat Kohli is, all this, but we never talk about Jack Canfield or the Starbucks coffee, where Jack Canfield have got 146 rejections to publish his book Chicken Soup Soul. And Starbucks coffee has been denied more than 160 times, I think, for a bank financial loan. So like this, we never talk about the grit and the persistence that a person had to come to this level. So talk more about failures rather than talking about the success. We always say, this is success, that man is earning, you have to become like that. So they don't want to put that effort. They see what's a quick way to learn. When we talk about failures, they understand failure is a part of life. Trying is a part of life. Hard work is a part of life. That's where the success comes from. So talking more about failures and hard work will help. Of course, when you do the hard work, the children will definitely understand how much efforts as parents we are putting, and encourage your children to earn money. Like my daughter, when she was in 3rd grade, I just supported her. She came saying, Amma, I'm going to sell lemonade today. She just picked one small cup. They made lemonade with friends and sold 5 rupees. So that day she came up with 130 rupees. This was way before. So I said to her, to earn this 130 rupees, so much of time you spend, like 3 hours she stood in the sun and got that 130. That's the pain to earn that 1 rupee. So take the children. That is why, take the children to the like any clubs or where, make them understand the money, or make them learn, or if they have a talent and skill, ask them to make it and sell it. So let them understand the hard work, the effort behind earning that 1 rupee, and then things will automatically change.
Thank you so much. Definitely I'll implement it.
Yeah,
your
thank you.
family. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Harini. I see that the webinar was so clear that people are already have all the information that they don't have any doubts. Great. That's
Yeah,
really
I
very good.
thank the participants. So please, thank you so much for being patient and listening to me.
And thanks a lot, Harini, and thanks for all the participants who have attended this. And of course, thanks, Sangram, for all the help what you did, the technical thing. So I guess we can probably close the session.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Harini.
Thanks a lot, Harini. Thanks a lot, Kisan. Thanks all the participants. Thank you very much.